Well, hello, dear diary. I'm Cheyenne, and it's May of 2022, I think. And it's, let me see, 12:46 p.m. A fly is bothering me right now. Okay. And it's early for me. 12:46 p.m. is not very early, but it's early. I don't I don't fall asleep that fast, so I get up late. Late is early for me. Okay, that's good. Now, let me tell you how I feel today. I don't think I feel a lot of hope. I do feel good a little bit. I don't have a lot of feelings right now. I would say I'm just a little afraid of the future. And that's a regular thing for me, to be afraid of the future. And I woke up very pissed. Well, I didn't wake up pissed, but the morning was just me being angry. Then I meditated. I think I got better. I'm meditating now. Wow. It's been, I think, the third day of my meditation. The third day that I meditate, and I'm trying to do it every day for the rest of my life. Probably will have a lot of good effects. We'll see. I hope. And I feel confused. That's another feeling that I have. I don't know what to feel. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to do. I feel confused. That was very, very specific how I feel. And you'll know why I feel confused when I get to talk about something I read yesterday. And first off, I want to talk about yesterday. Yesterday, one bold thing before I go on, why am I talking about yesterday? Because yesterday night we went out. My parents forced me to go out. It wasn't really, it wasn't an awful experience, but it was something. I didn't want to go out. I wanted to record my diary, just like this, but it didn't happen. We went out. So that's why I'm recording this right now, early in the day. Now, yesterday I went biking and a little walking, and that was delightful. I think it was so good as I remember it, because I went just right at the sunset. So it's usually pretty hot here. You already know that because I'm the only one who's listening. But it's pretty hot, and I went just right when it was the sunset, and it was getting cool, and there was this golden light, uh, over everything, and it was just the feeling, watching the trees, like feeling the wind on my skin. It was so good. And again, everywhere, all of my joints hurt. And one of these days, I'll go to the doctor and see what's wrong with me. But I couldn't really walk all that much. I put the bike somewhere, like I put the lock on it, and I walked around the place that I used to walk home with my friend. Like after school, it was the thing we did. Like we went off the school bus in every single station, and from every single station we walked home. And it was a thing we did, and I feel really happy talking about that because I think it was a positive experience. It was also a rule breaking experience because my mom would never let me do that if she knew, but we did it anyway. My mom was too afraid that I can't cross the road. She still thinks that way. She still thinks that I'm a fucking useless piece of shit. Well, not with these exact words, but she doesn't think that I'm my own person, and that's very unpleasant to me. So, anyways, I watched, not watched, looked at a place that we used to walk to home, and it was a little bit different. It's crazy to me to say it's been 7 years. It's been 7 fucking years. That memory is from 7 years ago. And that's crazy. Like, I've never had such a. I'm not that old. I'm 19. Like, to say something's from 7 years ago, it reminds me of like hearing older people say, "Oh, we did this thing 20 years ago," and I'm like, "Man, my lifespan was just less than 20 years. How did you?" It gives me that kind of feeling to say that memory is from 7 years ago. And the place was different. It was like a desert before, and it was a lot bigger. But it's green now, and there's grass and all things. Maybe it was just a thing that it's a spring now, and that's why it's green. But I felt like it was a lot bigger, but it's not. I'm bigger now. So anyways, I went there, I went back, I took my bike and I biked a little bit, and by the time I biked about an hour, and by the time I got home it was almost dark. So I got just a perfect timing, just from the sunset to exactly the time that it gets dark, and it was so good. I don't know why I don't feel like being out in the night. I was about to say being out tonight, but being out in the night, I just don't feel like it. Talking about being out tonight, I may just go out with my friend Daniel today. I don't know if he's available. He doesn't know if he's available. His mom knows. Anyways, yesterday, oh, yeah, I read something about finding my calling. So, I went through this course recently of finding my calling, and it wasn't successful. I found out a lot of things about me. Well, not a lot of things, but I found out some things about me in this course. And, for example, one thing is that I really, really like being a content creator. Yeah. And that's exactly why I'm recording this right now, because I'm creating something. And it's the best thing I can create since I don't have a good internet to upload videos, and it's harder to record videos, and I can't, well, my device is too old to edit too much, so this is a really good low editing, what do you say? It doesn't take a lot of space, a podcast. So, this is why I'm doing this. And yesterday, well, before saying that, I went through this finding your calling course, and it didn't work. I didn't find my calling, and I'm frustrated, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I write down what I think my calling is, but then I don't really feel like I really want it. I don't really feel like I want to try to achieve it. And I wasn't like this before. It was pretty clear to me that my calling was love before all of this. Well, let me say before my ex girlfriend. Um, that's another story. Let me write it down. I'll tell you about that another time. We don't have the time now. About my ex girlfriend. And after her, I don't know. I don't know what's my calling. After her, I never felt really, really passionate to find love or do things about it. I'm really good at love. I'm really good at love. I'm gonna say it again. I'm fucking good at love. Okay, I know what I'm doing. At least I know a lot more than a lot of people. I'm above average, I can tell you that. But I'm a virgin. And like it's like a joke. And I not anymore. Like I felt really passionate to learn about love, and I did, and I learned a lot of things. I go on Reddit and I help people who have relationship problems, and I think that's pretty dope. But for myself, I don't feel passionate. I don't feel passionate to find love anymore. I just want to be alone for now, at least. I don't know how long that feeling will last. I I don't want to stay alone forever. I think I want someone to love me at some point, but now it's just not the time, man. It's just not. So, my calling is not love anymore. And the course didn't help me to find it. What's next? I go on Google and I search, I don't have a calling. And here's what I got. Let me find it for you. It was a mistake not to try to find it before starting recording, and I'm gonna struggle. It's right here from Rebecca, I think. Beaton. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name, Rebecca. Yeah, I went through this in my head one other time before recording this, and I couldn't pronounce it either in there. Anyways, it says, you probably don't have a calling. Here's why. The more I learn, the more I realize the idea of a calling is probably a story we tell ourselves to help us get through the day and make sense of the world. And here, let me tell you, here is very important. So listen closely. There is no proof of a purpose or a calling in objective reality, so we cannot know it's true. I'm going to say it again. There is no proof of a purpose or a calling in objective reality, so we cannot know it's true. When I read that, it was like it just shocked me. I don't know how I didn't see that. It's just, I don't know, man. It's okay. Let's continue. whether the story that we have a calling is true or not, at the end of the day, it's a story, which we should ask ourselves, is this a story helping or hindering us? Hindering means prevention on action. Since I didn't know that, I'm saying it here. The idea of a calling suggests that there is a right way and a wrong way to live our lives, and it defines if you're successful or a failure. Now, before I go on, I want to say that I may have shortened it. I'm not about to read you the whole article, so there's differences between what I read you and the article itself. Rebecca says again, I find this idea more of a burden than a helpful tool. And let's be really honest. Are our lives really that important? Do we really matter that much when you consider all other human life? The planets, the stars, the galaxies, and the universes? And the universe and possible universes? Okay, I just fucked that up. Anyways, the point is that we're so little. And that's kind of fascinating that, it's fascinating that this fly is fucking annoying me. It's in my face and goddamn, whatever. Perhaps the idea of a calling is just our egos telling us that we matter more than we do. This fly is killing me. God damn, I have so much control over my anger. As soon as I say it's killing me, it went away. It went away. I would kill it in 1 second and not think about animal rights. I don't know if a fly is considered an animal. Whatever. I want to read this again because I think it's very important. Perhaps the idea of a calling is just our egos telling us that we matter more than we do, telling us that we have a higher purpose to fulfill, because the alternative is too frightening. This shit gives you goosebumps. Rebecca says again, I'll leave that up to you to decide. I believe the idea that we all have a calling does more harm than good. It's dangerous, breathing discontent. Okay, it means increases unhappiness, restlessness, and dissatisfaction. Meanwhile, our search for a calling distracts us from what's already good and meaningful in our lives right now. And for the really broad audience that are listening to this podcast right now, I'm not an English native speaker, so I have excuse to suck ass. I want to read it again because I can. Meanwhile, our search for the calling distracts us from what's really good and meaningful. God damn, this fucking fly. So annoying, man. Third time. Meanwhile, our search for the calling distracts us from what's already good and meaningful in our lives right now. Why not take some pressure off, appreciate our reality, and embrace more of life's possibilities instead? Why not? Now, I draw a line around this one. It seems important. Freeing ourselves of the burden of finding our purpose allows us to create the space or simply find something that brings us joy. Now, I don't know if this is true. It feels true, and I want to try it. Okay? We can find some things that fulfills us, that gives our lives meaning, and that we enjoy without all the damn pressure. Next page. We can relax, let go, and step into what makes us happy now. And trust ourselves to continue seeking out that feeling into the future. We can stop fretting about whether or not we're doing the right thing with our lives. And before I go on, I didn't know what fretting means. It meant be constantly or visibly anxious or worried. Okay, I'm gonna continue. We can stop fretting about whether or not we're doing the right thing with our lives and allow for multiple possibilities, multiple careers, and multiple paths. Even if you do think you've found your calling, as soon as circumstances change, you'll likely feel completely lost again, wondering where your sense of purpose went. Rebecca says again, so my advice to you is to give up on finding your calling. There's no ultimate calling for you to find and fulfill. Instead, decide what is meaningful to you, determine what you're good at, and find work that aligns with those things. There may not be an ultimate meaning to our lives, but there is opportunity to attribute meaning to any situation. It could be... What? Okay. There may not be an ultimate meaning to our lives, but there is opportunity to attribute meaning to any situation. It could be an opportunity for growth, a stepping stone to something else, or simply spreading small kindness to the people you work with. It means it could be anything. Now, the idea that I may not have a calling is interesting to me. The idea that life may just be the second of now, it brings me joy. I don't know why, but it makes me feel better that maybe I don't have a calling. And it feels right. It feels right. It feels so right. Because I don't feel I have a calling. I don't feel really, really passionate for anything like I did for love. I may find something someday, but I just don't know. Maybe I'm just wasting my time recording this. Maybe because I'm not trying so hard to make money right now, I'll die out of hunger. I'll starve. Who knows? But the idea of maybe I'm not supposed to be working that hard. Maybe I'm not supposed to donate all my resources to one thing. I don't think donate is a word. It's like attribute. Maybe attribute all of my resources to that one meaning of life. Maybe that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. And that idea is, I think I should say, appealing. Now, that was yesterday. And I will continue searching about my calling. I will continue to think about this, and we'll see what I'll decide at the end. I'm not just gonna accept what everyone says. I want to think about it more. And that was yesterday. Now, let me again. Oh no, let me find it. I think I wanted to talk about what the. Man. Give me a second, please. I'm trying to find something. Why is this? Oh. Okay, lesson learned. Next time I will write my topics that I want to talk about outside of my notebook. Someone just came in the house. I'm afraid my dad is gonna come in the room and tell me to go eat. That's frightening. See? I'm afraid. I'm afraid of my own family. That's... Okay. Lesson learned. And the lesson was to have my topics in front of me instead of what am I gonna do? Instead of having in the notebook, I will take it out and have it in front of me. All right? That was it. I want to talk about another topic, but I'm afraid that my parents are going to interrupt me during that. So let's do it fast instead of giving up. I want to talk about my ex-boyfriend. And yeah, he contacted me again after how many years? 6 years. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who thinks that it's miserable to be friends with your exes. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like being in contact with your exes. And I can't hurt him. I mean, I can, but I don't want to hurt him and just block him. So what I did was he is trying to get with me again, and I see that we have values that are opposite, and if we're together then we're gonna fucking hurt each other, and that's my professional self. My relationship guy says that this is not logical and it's gonna hurt both of us, this relationship, so I don't want it. And I gave him 2 weeks to talk me out of my value, to make both of us the same in that single value that we have. It's religion, by the way. He's a Muslim, I'm fucking not. So, yeah, I gave him 2 weeks to talk me out of it. I don't think he will be able to do that, since he couldn't do that a lot of other times. And after 2 weeks, I think it's goodbye forever. I'm not gonna respond to him. if he contacts me again, I'm not gonna answer his calls. If he's getting too annoying, I'll block him, whatever. It's too frustrating. It's been 6 fucking years. And every time he comes back and he opens the fucking wound, and I just can't deal with it anymore. I think it's fair. I gave him 2 weeks to convince me, and he doesn't have any reasons, any good reasons at least. So, yeah, I already know he can't convince me. I knew it before I gave him 2 weeks, but I just gave him 2 weeks so that he wouldn't be so hurt. Because if I would just block him, if I would just ignore him, he would be hurt more, I think, at least. If I was someone, I would like, if I was someone, if I was in his situation, I probably would like a second chance. I don't know. So it's been a week since then, and he has 1 week. I gave him 2 weeks, he has 1 week now. And that would be the end of my 6-year-old relationship with him. And I think that's a positive, that's an improvement. I know it's brutal. I know he loves me. Well, I don't know that. He broke me once. I cried so hard when he broke my heart. Basically, I don't want to go into I do want to go into details. I want to tell on this diary everything, but it's been 31 minutes and it's been enough. Okay, I made here's what it is. If I don't feel like talking about it, I won't. If anyone by any chance is listening to this and wants to know my heartbreaking story, write a comment. I'll tell you. I may break when I'm saying it, but I'll tell you. Okay. It's been a good run today. It's been a good kind of podcast. I usually like to end it with this paper that I also don't have in front of me. How surprising. How do I feel? I feel in the middle, kind of. I don't feel really bad. I don't feel really good either. Talking about my ex made me feel a little bad, so that's why. Normally I'd feel better. And I'm thankful for this podcast. I'm thankful that I can record my voice and send it off to the internet and have it forever. I'm really thankful for that. Let me write down. Mobile night. That's another topic that we'll talk about later. The main project that I am right now working on is my calling. The challenge that I want to do today is I don't have one. Okay. And yesterday's success rate, I would give it an 8 out of 10, since I didn't wake up early, and I didn't wake up at 12, which I wanted to, 12 p.m. But the rest of it was good. I went on a walk and it was really good. It's hard for me to go out. I really like staying inside. It was good, and I did find that article about my calling, so it was a good day yesterday. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. And that was it about yesterday. I may have another episode recorded tonight. I don't know. Probably. And that's it. I can't end this. I don't know how to end this talk, man. Okay. I'll talk to you later. Well, you'll listen to me later if you want. That's more accurate. Okay. Podcast out.